Welcome back to Planet Earth, our loving home, featuring internationally renowned climate change expert David Karoly, Professor of Meteorology at the University of Melbourne, Australia, and an Australian Research Council Federation Fellow. Professor Karoly recently participated in the international conference Beyond 4 Degrees held at the University of Oxford, UK, which examined the potential impact for the planet and humanity if the average global temperature rises 4 degrees Celsius.
The conclusions of the conference were that even with substantial emission reductions, 4 degrees of warming will probably be a reasonable mid-range estimate. So we really have to work very hard on reducing greenhouse gas emissions if we want to reduce the damage associated with warming and changes in rainfall patterns and keep the warming in global average temperatures to only 2 degrees, which is the target that's been set by the European Union.
Currently, Earth's atmosphere contains about 380 parts per million of carbon dioxide, which is considered an insufficient amount to cause a 2-degree rise in global temperature. However, the picture changes when other greenhouse gases are factored in.
We have already exceeded the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, or carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, that would give a 50-50 chance of exceeding 2 degrees of warming. And so what that means is we're already got enough greenhouse gases in the atmosphere to give more than 2 degrees of warming. We have to rapidly reduce emissions if we want to minimize this risk of going above 2 degrees.
What are some of the disastrous consequences to our planet if we experience a 4-degree jump in global temperature?
So a world with 4 degrees of warming is a world with much reduced cold extremes, but dramatic increases in the frequency of heat waves, dramatic increases in the frequency of wildfires or bushfires, not just in Australia, but also in Athens or in areas around the Mediterranean, increases in wildfires in California, increases in fires in many of the what are called Mediterranean climates. And those are already happening. We would also see major changes in rainfall patterns with decreases in rainfall in many of the already dry areas. But unfortunately, there are increases in rainfall in many of the already wet areas, and that can lead to increases in flooding. We also see major reductions in the sea ice, melting of permafrost at high latitudes, and the reductions in glaciers. We would expect for 4 degrees of warming that sea level will rise by at least 10 to 20 meters. The last time the global climate system was 4 degrees warmer, we had more than 25 meters of sea level rise.
Scientists have calculated that a staggering 51% or more of human-induced global greenhouse gas emissions come from the production and consumption of animal products such as meat, eggs, and milk. In addition, the world's primary source of the dangerous greenhouse gas methane is this same cycle.
The methane from animal agriculture is particularly important because methane is more effective kilogram by kilogram in warming the climate system compared with carbon dioxide. If we're only talking about a 20-year timescale, methane is in fact 70 times more powerful as a warming agent than the same amount of carbon dioxide. So if we want to slow down global warming, the most effective thing to do on a 20-year timescale is to reduce emissions of methane into the atmosphere, and the major contributor is animal agriculture in terms of methane emissions.
Professor Caroli supports organic farming as a highly effective and practical approach to curbing climate change.
Well, organic farming can be very effective because what it's doing is not using energy and chemicals to produce fertilizers. It's using the natural fertilizers. And what that means is that, first of all, it uses less energy. Secondly, it is able to store more carbon in the soils, and so it acts as a way of utilizing changes in the agricultural practice to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and store it into soils. We know that for billions of years on the Earth, photosynthesis has taken carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and put it into plants and into the ground. We know that that is a very, very effective mechanism for removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and putting it into plants and into the ground. And so what we should be trying to do is to use that well-proven mechanism, not new technologies, but a technology that has existed for more than 1 billion years, to capture carbon dioxide and store it into the ground.
To conclude, Professor Caroli has the following message for our global viewers.
We have to start afforestation. We have to change our agricultural practices so that we have much less carbon dioxide and methane emitted from agriculture, and so that we actually change our practices so that agriculture can be used to store carbon dioxide under the ground. And we know how to do that already.
If the world soon embraces organic vegan farming and the organic vegan diet, we can quickly bring Earth back into balance, because the source of most global greenhouse gas emissions, animal products, will no longer be consumed. Let's all make this vital planet-saving choice today. Our sincere thanks go to Professor David Caroli for sharing his knowledge and insights on climate change. May his research continue to raise public awareness of this issue, the most critical challenge facing our planet today. For more information on Professor David Caroli, please visit www.earthsci.unimelb.edu.au. Wise viewers, we thank you for your kind company on today's program. Up next is enlightening entertainment after noteworthy news. May we all be filled with the love and light of heaven.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/PE.